Hi, welcome to Big Joe Phones Repair. If today is your first time coming across this channel, make sure you subscribe, like, and leave your comment. Today we are having Infinix Hot 50i. The model number is 6531B. Right, this phone came to my custody, came to my shop with a dead condition. A phone technician directed the customer to my shop. The phone technician said he has tried all his possible best, but couldn't turn the phone on. The phone fell in water. Alright, and after that the phone is not turning back on anymore. Okay, so this place I checked the VPH capacitors are shorting to the ground. When I connected to my DC power supply, the DC power supply was giving me a reading of 0.02 up to 0.04, and it is fluctuating. Alright, so I knew that this is a VPH issue. No response. If you press the power button, no response. So at this place, I firstly checked the VPH section of the charging IC, and it's true, it was shorting to the ground. And I checked all the VPH sections of this mobile PCB, and all the VPH sections in this mobile PCB is also shorting to the ground. So as you can see, I use my smoke powder on the areas that we have the VPH. Alright, so I was checking for a possible heat up. Okay, and I found out that this place close to the proximity sensor is also heating up. So that means that this place too uses a VPH line. Okay, so at this moment I'm removing the shield covering the components around this place. Okay, this place also uses a VPH line. All these components here uses a VPH line. Okay, so after taking off the shield, as you can see, there is a lot of corrosion in this place, so I have to clean it thoroughly to proceed with my troubleshooting. So after taking off, I have to use my multimeter to run the codes testing and see if I'll get a short at this place. And it's true, most of the capacitors here are shorting to the ground. Okay, most of the capacitors here are shorting to the ground. So I'm suspecting this capacitor close to the proximity sensor. Okay, yeah, this capacitor, I'm suspecting that one. Okay, the one close to the proximity sensor, I was suspecting that one. So at this point, I have no option than to use my smoke powder again. Alright, because when I connected to my DC power supply, this place was heating up. Okay, this place was heating up. It was really consuming a high amount of current. So I have to inject voltage. Okay, as you can see, yeah, the suspected capacitor was fetched out to be the damaged capacitor on this mobile PCB. Okay, on this mobile PCB, as you can see, just smooth like that. Okay, so this, I have to remove this capacitor which is causing this problem. Very smooth. And after taking it off, I have to check whether it is true that it is the one which is causing the problem. And yes, when I checked the components, they have all come back to normal. I checked the capacitor that I took it off, and it is true, it is shorting. Okay, so after that I went on to check all the VPH capacitors, whether they are still shorting to the ground or not. And when I check, we have a normal reading now. Okay, and surprisingly, after taking off this capacitor which is causing the VPH light to short it to the ground, the phone still did not turn on. So I have to open the shield covering the RAM and the power IC, Okay, the RAM and the power IC, I have to take it off. And when I take it off, as you can see, there's a lot of corrosion here, so we have to clean this place as well, because when I connected my DC power supply again, it was giving me a short. It was giving me let me say current leakage, yeah, up to 0.38, yeah, so it was still giving me a short. So after cleaning this place, after cleaning the power IC section, I have to check all the capacitors and see if I'll get a short. But surprisingly, I didn't get a short. So this one is not a shorting, it is a current leakage. Alright, it is a current leakage. So at this time, I check all the components around the RAM 2, there's no short. Okay, around the NAND, yeah, I think the EMMC, there is no short. All right, there is no short. So I have to warm up, or I have to dry up the water under the PMIC. Okay, I have to dry up the water under the PMIC. After drying up the water under the PMIC, still the phone didn't turn on. It is still showing current leakage. So I have to check the graphics section, because graphics section uses high voltage. Okay, so I have to take off the graphic IC, which is this small one, and check if there is corrosion under the graphic IC. All right, because this place too uses the VPH line. Okay, so after taking off the graphic IC, I found out that everything is clean, so I have to replace it back. After replacing it back, I have to check the charging IC itself. Okay, I have to check the charging IC itself, because the phone was still giving those small current leakage. So I took it off, and I found out that everything is clean. And after replacing it, I warm up the PCB again, and then the phone was able to come back to life. So this is how I recover this phone for my new customer. Thank you for watching my videos.